How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Bank Policy Institute supports Elizabeth Warren's push for stricter crypto rules. Warren, along with 3 other senators, has recently reintroduced the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act, which aims to enforce tougher rules in combating money laundering with terrorism financing within the crypto industry. Now the BPI, which is often criticized by Warren, has voiced support for the bipartisan legislation, according to a Friday report from Bloomberg. The existing Anti-Money Laundering and Bank Security Act framework must account for digital assets, and we look forward to helping to engage in the process to defend our nation's financial system against illicit finance in all its forms, BPI said in a statement. The proposed 7-page bill, if passed, would require digital asset wallet providers, miners, and other blockchain validators to maintain records of customer identities. Additionally, financial institutions would be prohibited from utilizing asset mixers like Tornado Cash. JBA proposes tax reforms to empower Japan's crypto ecosystem. The JBA has put forward the 3 main changes to promote the expansion of the crypto industry and make it more accessible to individuals. Top of the list, the association recommends doing away with year-end unrealized gains taxation on tokens issued by third parties. So you won't pay gains on something you didn't take a gain for, because if you take a loss next year, you're not going to get much back for it. The lobby group also wants the JBA to bring in separate taxation for individual crypto asset transactions and set a consistent percent tax rate of 20%, so like a capital gains tax of 20%. The JBA further proposes eliminating income tax on earnings from crypto asset exchanges. In their assessment, accepting these reforms would create a favorable environment for businesses venturing into Web3 and simplify crypto asset ownership and usage for the general public in Japan. So over on the charts, our total is still not managing to break through our resistance. We are through our pattern. We've got most of our breakout, so be warned, as when you get most of your breakout, you could have all your move. We've seen that countless times. If you haven't been around this channel for too long, sometimes you'll get a little bit of your breakout, and then you won't get too shy. That's why you don't always want to go for the full move up or down. But RSI is trying to head up, Stochastic's trying to run up, Momentum's trying to come up with the green dot, VWAP is trying to head up, so that's pushing our momentum up as it's in the bullish territory now. Our money flow is struggling to maintain bullish momentum, so we're going to need that to curl and push up though. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are taking a confirmed drop down from our bear flag we had, so watch out as this could bring us lower if the next few days we keep getting more red candles. RSI is starting to slide, Stochastic's making a bearish break. Our money flow is getting lower highs. If we start to roll over here, we could push even lower. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory and starting to kind of round, so if that rounds off and the money flow rejects back down in the bearish territory, that could set us up for a pretty decent drop down, and we could even see more bearish patterns form afterwards. But our momentum is starting to head down, so overall we're a little more bearish leaning than bullish with this breakout confirmed. Bitcoin futures, we are still rejecting away from this flag that we wanted to break up from, so we do still have that rejection. We still have that lower gap that we could come down and fill. RSI is kind of going sideways, Stochastic wants to run up, our money flow is rejecting away from neutral, our VWAP has managed to go bullish, so that's giving our momentum a green dot and helping push it forward. So if we could break back into this channel, this could be a freak breakout. Sometimes you get those, a freak break up or down in a channel, but it doesn't always necessarily invalidate your channel. It'll just kind of mess with it. So if we do manage to come back in, that would be good for us, and we could see that potential upside. But over on Bitcoin itself, we are kind of flat still. We do have a little bit of a green candle, but it's not too strong. Our RSI is starting to curl over. Stochastic wants to go bullish. It's at 14, so it's still in the bearish territory though, so just watch out, as if it rolls over, it'll still be in bearish strength, and our RSI could suffer. Our money flow is trying to go in the bullish territory, but it's not very strong right now, so if it rejects away from here, we could set more bearish momentum and see another drop down, at which point we are near that golden pocket, and you've seen how volatile that golden pocket can be. Our momentum does have that green dot, but if that VWAP doesn't get some strength, then that green dot could get invalidated and we could just ride this overbought area for a while. Over on the 4 hour, We have two manipulation X's, so those want to bring us down. We have a reversal arrow that wants to kind of change, so we have some indecision here. Our stochastic wants to make a bullish push up. We are getting higher highs and we're overbought, so that is good for us as that's giving our RSI strength. But our RSI is struggling to get new highs and starting to roll, so just keep an eye on that. Our momentum is running up, our VWAP's running up pretty decently. Our momentum's looking like it could roll over though, so if we do start to curl with the VWAP, then we could see a rejection here. Our money flow does want to make a bounce off that neutral, but again, watch out if we kind of get some resistance around like this 7-8 zone. Over on the 2 hour here, we have a green dot, so this green dot wants to push us forward. If we get some red candles here in the next candle, then this green dot could get invalidated and we could see a push down instead. Our stochastic kind of wants to curl off, so watch out for that. RSI is going kind of flat. Our momentum is coming up but starting to curl as our VWAP is coming down. Our money flow is in the bullish territory but starting to round off, so our money flow could come into the bearish territory and set a bearish trend for this medium higher time frame. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a reversal arrow green candle, so this is kind of inverse of what happened here, so don't bet too much on it going, as this signals we tried to go up, but we could see a reverse and drop back down. Real quick, like the video if you haven't, subscribed to the channel if you're not already a subscriber, and join our Discord and visit our Reaper Apparel Co. merch link down below to get 10% off their good merch. But stochastic is starting to roll over, wants to get a bearish cross, RSI has gone pretty flat, our momentum's starting to roll over, our VWAP's about to break into that bearish territory, and our money flow has broken in the bearish territory and is starting to drop down, so the 1 hour could set bearish precedent for the other time frames. If this continues in the bearish territory, we could see everything start to weaken, and like I said, with that dominance, we could get a push down. Over on the graph, I said that yesterday too. RSI is going kind of flat, stochastic starting to round off, money flow is rejecting away. Our VWAP is breaking into the bullish territory, so our VWAP wants to get some bullish momentum. Our momentum's getting a green dot because of it. We'll have to see if this can confirm. And if we can get some strong green candles after this. This is just a doji green candle, so it's not very decisive. Over on the 4 hour, we have a reversal arrow pointing that wants to bring us lower. We tried to get a manipulation X to bring us down. We kind of scooped away from it, but now that could play out. Our stochastic has a bearish divergence that wants to push down. We are trying to get a bullish cross and push back up, so little indecision there. Our RSI is kind of curling off. Momentum is coming down. It does want to get a bit of a curl as our VWAP is trying to break into the bullish territory. We'll have to see if it can break into the bullish territory and hold very strong. Otherwise, if it taps that bullish territory and rejects away, we could be set for some more downside. Our money flow did get a rejection of crossing bullish back here. We are trying to get another cross here. So if we can manage to break through and hold bullishly strongly, then we could set a bullish trend on the 4 hour. Over on the 2 hour, nothing really too exciting. Might have a little gap here, so we could get a jump back up here to this 11.324 area. RSI is trying to head up, stochastic wants to run up. Money flow is starting to get a bit of a rejection. Keep an eye on that. If that continues, we could be set for another downswing. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but not very strongly, so if it rolls over, our momentum wave could be in trouble and could get pushed down. Over on the 1 hour here, we do have a green dot that wants to push us up, so that could give us our push to that gap, but look out for this gap below. We could jump up, fill that gap, reject, fill this gap, come back down and fill that gap there, so just keep an eye on that. Stochastic is starting to round off, RSI is starting to kind of taper off, our money flow is rejecting away, our momentum is trying to come up, but our VWAP is starting to push down, so if that VWAP goes bearish, that momentum wave is going to be in trouble, and that stochastic would probably follow suit as well. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are trying to break this pattern. We are jumping to our value area low on our micro channel right around here that we traded in before. So we are trying to hit that area which is kind of close to this pattern. Stochastic's starting to kind of taper off though, so watch out if it starts to curl and come back down. RSI wants to run up, our momentum wants to come up, but overall we're setting up bearish divergences. Our money flow is overall coming out, it is getting a little bit of a push up with this candle, but overall pushing down. VWAP is trying to get a jump up, but Overall, it might be a little bit of a scam pump up, and we could see a drop down and invalidate, or see this pattern break if everything else starts to fall down. So don't get your hopes too high if we don't break out and get some confirmations out of this pattern. That's not to say we can't invalidate this pattern and just break out wildly. Not every pattern's 100%, actually no pattern's 100%. Most of them are at best like 80-90%. Stochastic's overbought, starting to ride this zone. Momentum starting to curl with a double red dot. Our RSI is starting to curl away, so our RSI could get pushed down as we're pretty much in this like stretch out zone. Our money flow is ramping up. Our VWAP assessing that bearish territory and wants to break down, so if our VWAP breaks down, we could see everything else get pushed back down as well. Over on the 2 hour, you can see we tried to break out here and we kind of got sucked back in, kind of like we did back there. Our stochastic is starting to dump on us. RSI is overall starting to get pushed down. Momentum's coming down. RSI has that red diamond that could bring it lower. Our money flow is trying to run up overall, but it could start to curl out from here. Our VWAP is pushing away from that neutral and breaking lower into the bearish territory slightly, so if this continues, we could be set for a downswing. Over on the 1 hour, there's that bearish divergence. RSI is starting to come down. Stochastic has a bearish divergence as well. So overall, we have a lot of divergences. Money flow is starting to get that curl out, so keep an eye on that. And our VWAP is in the bearish territory slightly, trying to push down. So if that pushes lower, that'll bring everything else lower. If it manages to regain some strength, then we may be able to invalidate this pattern. Over on XRP for the daily, we are kind of just bouncing around the bottom here, still with our indecision candles, so this might be more of a descending triangle at this point, which would not be very good for us. There is a lot of disappointed people selling off, as everyone's all whiny that we didn't hit $1. So all of that sell-off could probably have negated the possibility of even hitting the $1 that we had the possibility with that flag pattern. Our RSI is starting to kind of weaken here. We are touching along the bottom here. We could see a drop. If we invalidate this, then we could still have a bull flag in play, but don't get your hopes set too high. RSI is going kind of flat, stochastic's losing strength, money flow is coming out, VWAP is kind of flat. It is very close to that neutral, so if it breaks through, that could set a swing up and then move forward. And that could be a volatile move forward, as we're kind of indecisive and can't get too strong of sell pressure. Our momentum is coming down though, as our VWAP is just struggling. Over on the 4 hour, we have some manipulation X's that want to bring us lower. So that's not good for us, as that could bring us down. If we invalidate these and start to pump up, that would be good for a push up, but otherwise we could see this pattern drop us down that we suggested yesterday. RSI is starting to roll over, stochastic's starting to kind of roll over, VWAP's starting to kind of roll off. Our money flow is rejecting away from that neutral, getting lower lows, and setting more bearish pressure. Our momentum is trying to get a green dot, but if that VWAP rolls over, that green dot could get invalidated, and we could see the momentum come lower as well. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic is about to get a bearish cross, so that could push us down. Our RSI is looking a little weak, our VWAP is curling off pretty strongly, and about to head toward that neutral, so our VWAP could break into the bearish territory and bring our momentum back down. Our money flow is starting to bow away from that neutral as well, so we are getting a bearish push down, so we have more bearish pressure here. Over on the 1 hour, we have bearish trend on our money flow too. Stochastic is dumping, RSI is starting to fall, momentum starting to curl off as our VWAP wants to break bearish, so if our VWAP breaks bearish, we could be set up to see a pretty strong drop and see this pattern play out. Over on Algo, we are still trying to just knock against this top of this pattern as much as we can. I think maybe after tomorrow or the next day we could see that drop down if we see that push down. Otherwise, with as hard as we're pushing against this, we could see a push here, and that would actually push us above our value area low, and we could regain some of these wicks. Our stochastic is trying to get a bullish cross, so that wants to help propel us forward. Money flow is trying to recover. Our VWAP is trying to get a green dot as our momentum's getting a green dot as our VWAP is trying to break in the bullish territory. So overall, we are looking pretty decent, like we could get a breakout here, but that would be kind of counter to everything else, as everything else is looking a little wishy-washy. We do have a reversal arrow here, so that wants to bring us kind of reverse the trend. We were dropping and going sideways, so the reverse of that would be going up. Stochastic is trying to run up, our RSI is starting to curl off, our money flow is in the bullish territory, so if it can hold here and keep getting higher, that would be beneficial, or kind of hold in this range and stretch out. Our momentum is kind of curling off, VWAP is starting to curl and head down, so overall we do have some bullish hopium here. However, there is a possibility we could curl over as well. Over on the 2 hours, stochastic is starting to get a bearish cross and starting to push down, so keep an eye on that. Our RSI wants to push up, kind of trying to maintain its range, so if that can maintain its range as our stochastic bounces in the bullish territory, that could be good for us, kind of like it did back there. Our momentum's starting to round off as our VWAP's about to break through that neutral, so if our VWAP breaks bearish, we could set a red dot on that momentum and roll over. Our money flow is struggling here on the 2 hour, so it needs to pick up some strength. Otherwise, if it flips into the bearish territory, that 4 hour is not going to do so well. Finally, on the 1 hour, we are trying to get a little bit of a push and retest here, so that could be a sign that we could get a breakout. Stochastic is starting to come down though, momentum's starting to come down, money flow is maintaining bullish momentum though. So if this can maintain and we can get some new highs, that could help push the 2 hour and other time frames up. Our VWAP is trying to break through that neutral and wants to head back up after breaking slightly into the bearish territory, so if that VWAP can get some strength behind it, that could propel the momentum and everything else forward for a breakup. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.